So a lot of people have been asking me, what is going on with Real Broker? What is the model? What are the fees? What are the tech? What are the opportunities of being on this platform as a real estate agent? Well, I'm glad you came to this video because we're going to discuss everything that is Real Broker. And in 2024, things are a lot different than even just 1 year ago. So this will have all the up-to-date information that you need to know when deciding to possibly make a change of brokerages for one of the biggest opportunities, in my opinion, in quite some time in the real estate brokerage space. Real Broker is currently the fastest growing brokerage in all of North America. It has over 16,000 agents now. And when I joined in October of 2022, there were only 6,100 agents. So from now until the beginning of 2024, there are now over 16,000 agents and quickly approaching 17,000. We are located in all 50 states and in 4 provinces in Canada. We have done over $690 million revenue in 2023 alone, and our ticker symbol, publicly traded on the NASDAQ, is REAX. And on this video, we're going to discuss some of the main topics, which are cost and fees associated with the broker, the stock program, revenue share, technology, training and education. So let's first start with the cost and fees, because at the end of the day, that's what everyone wants to know first and foremost, because being with a brokerage typically will cost you money. Now, there are certain scenarios with being with Real that's gonna cost you zero. In fact, Real ends up paying you. Actually, you make money for being at the brokerage and then some, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let's start with the costs and fees. Now with Real, everyone is on a 85-15 split. I don't care if you sell 1 billion homes a year or 1 home a year, 85-15 split, as that upholds the integrity of the entire system. But the great thing is that it's a capping model. So everyone, if you're a single agent or a team lead, is going to be on a $12,000 cap per year. And if you're on a team, you can be at a $6,000 cap, which is called a half cap for any team members. And there's one modification to this as well, that if you are a $100 million plus team, then you can elect, if you so choose, to have all of your team members on a $4,000 cap for the year. Now, every agent has an anniversary year. It's the date you first begin and 12 months from there, and then it resets every single year. So after you cap at $12,000 as an individual agent, you then have a 100% split for the rest of the deals you do in that anniversary year. And then after that, there's going to be a transaction fee for $285 per closing per transaction for every file after you cap, but only after you cap. And the cool thing is there's a mechanism where if you do enough production, that transaction fee will actually drop down to only $129 per transaction until you reset for the anniversary year. But we'll get to that later because there's a big bonus that comes with it. Now, before we go any further, I want to make one thing really clear, that with Real, there are no monthly fees. I'm gonna say that again, no monthly fees. So it works great for an agent who maybe is just getting started and it's gonna take a little while to get into production. It also works great for that agent who's maybe struggling for a couple months in a row where they're not having any closings because you only pay when you play. So not having that burden of having your credit card hit every single month for a monthly fee is a huge plus for a lot of agents out there in the real estate industry. There's also a BOT fee. It's a $30 fee per transaction throughout the entire year. This covers broker, E&O, processing fee. So primarily it covers the E&O. Everyone has to have E&O in the real estate industry. And so this is a very cheap way of having that done. And the cool thing is if you run a team or are on a team, you don't actually bear the responsibility of the entire transaction fee or the entire BOT $30 fee per file, because it can be split if you so choose based on the split of the transaction, with the commission split between team owner and team agent. There's also a one-time $249 fee just for joining, and that is just one time. Then you also have an annual fee of $750. Now that annual fee is paid out over the first 3 transactions at $250 each transaction. So that's right, if you only do 2 deals for the entire year, you will never pay an annual fee of $750. It will be just at simply $500, $250 and $250. And on the personal side, I know a lot of you agents out there are investors or maybe have personal transactions. You can do up to 3 of those every single anniversary year, where the transaction fee is only $250 for doing that deal for your personal property. So now I love case studies. I think it really helps break down the visual aspect and component of understanding the model. So I'm gonna break down a scenario, 3 different ones in fact. One in which you close 12 transactions a year, what's the cost? One in which you close 24 transactions a year, what's the total cost? And then one in which you close 30 transactions a year, what is the total cost? And before we jump into that, there have to be a couple assumptions that we're going to do. And what our assumptions are going to be based off of an average price point of $500,000 with an average commission of 2.5%. So now let's jump into the 12 transactions a year scenario. You will end up paying a transaction fee of $285 per 5 deals for a total of $1,425. You have an annual fee of $750 and E&O insurance of $360. Now this totals $14,535 to be at Real Broker for the year. So now let's go to a different scenario, one in which you're closing 24 transactions a year to a month on average. In this scenario, you're going to cap out at $12,000 a year. You're going to have 17 transactions at $285 a transaction for a total of $48.45 for the year. You're gonna have an annual fee of $750. You're gonna have an E&O fee of $720. Now this adds up to a total cost of $18,315 a year to be at Real Broker. Okay, so now let's look at another scenario in which you're closing 30 transactions a year. So in this scenario, you're going to cap, so that's $12,000 for the year. You're going to hit a lead agent with 21 closings a year at $285, which is $5,985. You're gonna have 2 additional closings at only $129 for a transaction fee, equaling $258. If you add those 2 up, that's a total of $6,243 combined for transaction fees. Your annual fee is $750, and your BOP E&O fee is $30 times 30 transactions for a total of $900. When you add all those up, that equals $19,893 as costs associated for being at Real. But wait, there's more. We're gonna get to the stock program here in just a second, but in that scenario, you will hit Elite Agent because Elite Agent status is hit once you have paid in $6,000 in transaction fees for the year, which you did in this scenario. So when you hit Elite Agent, the company is going to bonus you back $16,000 in company stock. And then being Elite Agent also gives you the opportunity to win the Culture Award. The Culture Award is going to give you $8,000 additional stock as well. Now that's an additional $24,000 of stock, which makes your time at Real be a net positive of $4,107. That's right, Real is going to pay you at this point to be at the brokerage and then some. Now let's segue from the costs and fees, transitioning perfectly into the stock aspect of the company. Now, this is one of my favorite perks of being with Real Broker because this doesn't require any other effort. You're gonna do this no matter what because you're gonna help people buy and sell and invest in real estate like you always have been doing. You're just now in a model in which they're going to potentially bonus you for doing that same amount of production. It's incredible. So the stock is based all off production, not about attracting other agents to the company or anything of that nature. It's literally based on production for the most part. Let's start with the stock purchase program, otherwise known as SPP. You can see on the screen right here that before you cap, you can take 5% of your commission paid out in stock. And when you do that, the company is going to match whatever that dollar amount is, 10% dollar match to the stock that you buy. And then after you cap, you can put as much as 10% of your commission check paid towards Real stock, at which point the company is going to bonus you 20% of that dollar amount in Real stock as well. So logistically, how this works is the company does this all behind the scenes. You don't have to do anything. Everybody's given a Morgan Stanley ShareWorks brokerage account in which this all happens behind the scenes for you. And so the last trading day of each month, the company executes that order and does the match, and therefore that stock goes into your account. Now, with the stock purchase program, all of the stock is vested after just 1 year. And there are other stock awards as well that can be earned with the company. Now, these stock awards outside of the SPP actually vest in 3 years. So you have a 1-year vest for part of that stock, and you have a 3-year vest for the other part, which is kind of cool because most companies will have a vest of 3 years for all stock awards. Not the case with Real. But the cool thing is that if you are attracting or capping, they will bonus you shares. Now the awesome part is if you attract an agent to the company and when they close their first transaction, the company will give you 75 shares just for saying thank you for bringing this agent to the company. And when you cap, the company will bonus you 150 shares just as their way of saying thank you for being a awesome producing agent with the company. So that's free money, guys, free shares to go into your stock account. Pretty darn cool. And as you can see, if you're on a half cap, you still have the ability to earn these same awards. They're just a little bit lower because your cap is only at 6,000 as opposed to 12. Now with the stock, the magic really happens with the Elite Agent Award. As you can see here, once you pay in $6,000 in the post-cap transaction fees, the company will give you $16,000 in stock right back to you. And the cool thing is the company actually has an additional pathway for you luxury agents out there and you commercial agents out there, because typically you're gonna deal with less transaction count, higher price point. And so it might be harder doing the math to hit that Elite Agent Award if you're going to just be selling luxury homes or just commercial properties. So the company has your back when it comes to that as well. If you close 10 properties with a purchase price of $1 million or more each for the year, and if you bring in $500,000 of gross income for the year, then you automatically qualify for the Elite Agent Award status, which is cool. Really awesome because they're encouraging all different types of product types and agents who sell different types of product to still participate and be bonus equally for all of your awesome hard work. But the cool part is the fun doesn't stop there. It gets better. Now that you've earned the Elite Agent Award, you now have the ability to earn the Culture Award. What is the Culture Award? I'm glad you asked. In this situation, you get the ability to teach in Real Academy, one class, one time a month throughout the entire year. So in 12 classes that you do one time a month, you now will have achieved the Culture Award. Or if you don't want to teach, you actually can do something really, really cool with a charity of your choice. You get it approved by the company and you've earned the Culture Award as well. Either way you go about it, once you earn that Culture Award, the company will give you back $8,000 in company stock for a total of $24,000 that you now have earned in company stock, at which point for most people, they are paying you to be working at the company. You're not paying them. And if you look at Real stock and go to the ticker symbol REAX, holy cow, look how much it has gone up over the past just 1 year. And again, I joined a little over a year ago, so to see the growth of this stock in just the short time I've been with the company is absolutely incredible. And with the leadership that we have and where the company is going with new things on the horizon they're getting ready to release, the sky is the limit for where this stock could potentially go. Okay, now let's go to the next thing, which is revenue share. So it just keeps getting better and better because the revenue share is the most powerful aspect, arguably, for the financial aspect of being with this company. So Real, instead of having TV commercials with big balloons with the brand name of the broker on those commercials and all of this advertising, instead has put the power back to the agents and have said that essentially we will give you that advertising dollars, if you will, to help grow the company, as opposed to paying that to a media company for advertising. And in doing so, the company will share in its revenue with its agents. Now, here's the best part, is that Real will share up to 60% of all of its revenue back to all of its agents based on where they stand in the revenue share process. Now, why this is huge is because other companies that have a cloud-based revenue share model, they share up to 50% of the revenue. That's it. So that's an extra 10% they're sharing back and giving away back to their agents. So now if you have a big revenue share network, that could be a matter of thousands to tens to even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So having that 60% cap as opposed to a 50% cap really is a big deal in the grand scheme of things, which is a big feather in Real's cap. Another good part about the revenue share with Real is that it is willable to your heirs. That's right, you get to select a beneficiary in which all of your revenue share, if something were to happen to you, continues to be distributed the same as if you were alive to any of your beneficiaries that you designate, whether it be your spouse or your kids, whatever it may be, you get to choose that. And again, as long as the company is around and as long as people are producing below you in your network, you continue to receive payments to your beneficiary forever and ever. Another benefit is the fact that you can retire now on your revenue share with Real, assuming you choose to make that choice, and of course you have enough money to do so. But if you do choose to do that, Real will continue to pay your revenue share out to you based upon a vested schedule. And how it works is this, it's real simple. If you've been with the company 3 years and you decide to retire, Real will pay you 60% of your revenue share at that time. If you've been with the company for 4 years, then Real will pay you out at 80% of your revenue share at that time. And if you've been with the company for 5 years, then Real will actually pay out 100% of your revenue share at the time you decide to retire, and it will continue to be paid out to you forever and ever. That is amazing. And yet another thing that is cool about Real and the revenue share program is their co-sponsorship revenue share, otherwise known as fractional revenue share. It is awesome because this really promotes a one Real horizontal company, not vertical company made of silos. And what that means is you can choose now 2 different people to be your sponsor when you decide to come over to the company. It works out really good, and if you have a good friend, maybe that's with a company that you really want to support and you want to be part of his or her network, but you have someone else over here that maybe provides a certain value that you really want to tap into, it gives them a financial incentive to really, really support your business as well as your friend over here. Also, they both get to now work with you as co-sponsors, and it connects any type of a miniature silo that may have been forming. It now connects it and does that over and over again for all the different people who co-sponsor across the company, across 2 different countries now that we're in. So this one Real culture that we're really promoting is really done so on a financial basis, where the company's put in their mouth where their wallet is when it comes to having this co-sponsorship revenue share. So let's explain how revenue share works with Real, because every company runs it a little bit different, it seems. But Real is very simplistic to understand. It is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 model. That's right, it goes 5 tiers deep, and you have unlocking requirements like most do as well. Now, the cool thing about Real's revenue share structure is that the highest payouts are on the top levels, whereas typically it's inverse, where you don't get the highest payouts until you have so many levels levels unlocked, making it very difficult for the average person in that company to really maximize the payout. Well, with Real, it's just the opposite. The first line is a 5% payout. And as you can see on here, the second line is a 4% payout. Then it goes to a 3% payout, a 2% payout, and a 1% payout. So it's real simple. If someone below you on your line 1 has a $10,000 gross commission check, well, 5% of that is $500. So the 15th of the month, the following month after the closing of that transaction, Real sends you money direct to your account for $500, because that's 5% being the fact that they're in your tier or line 1. And also you can see on the revenue share that the max payout then for line 1 is $4,000 per agent, and then line 2 is $3,200, $2,400, $1,600, and then $800, essentially going down $800 per tier as a max payout. Now when it comes to unlocking tiers, you can see that the requirements are as follows. To unlock payouts for line 1, you don't need any agents. Automatically anyone in your line 1, you get paid even if you just have one person, which is cool. To unlock line 2, you have to have 5 agents. To unlock line 3, 15 minimum. To unlock line 4, 20 minimum, and to unlock line 5, 25 or more in your line 1. Now there is one more stipulation with this, which is kind of cool, because Real really wants agents to come to the company who want to produce and sell real estate first, and then attract agents second. You won't find the word recruiting anywhere in the nomenclature and the verbiage throughout any Real documents, because they don't want to be known as a recruiting company. They want to be known as an attraction-based company, one in which agents go out there and produce, as that's the biggest attraction event you possibly could have. And then secondarily, people will be attracted to that as they learn about you being a productive agent. So with that, their production requirement is as follows. You have to be a producing agent by closing 1 transaction every 6 months. And really, you don't even have to close a transaction. You have to just be part of a transaction, maybe a co-agent on that transaction, in which you are getting $3,000 of gross revenue every 6 months, maybe through a referral, maybe through being a co-agent on a deal. If you are getting paid $3,000, that satisfies the requirement of $450 paid to the company every 6 months. And it's simple math. If you take $3,000 times a 15% split, that is $450 that goes to the Real every 6 months. And in doing so, you are a producing agent and will stay eligible to receive all the revenue share you possibly are awarded. So now let's change to training and education. Now this is where Real really starts to separate itself from its competition. There is so much training. It is known as a training and educational company, and there are more than 30 classes, live classes every single week, live classes every single week on Real Academy. That's right, about almost every single topic you could possibly think of in the real estate industry, from Instagram to how to hold effective open houses to YouTube to buyer consultations, mindset, and the list goes on and on and on, all taught by elite agents. So these are agents that have had to hit a certain production requirement to even be thought of to teach these classes. So they hopefully know a little bit at least about what they're talking about. And why this is so huge is because at my previous company, which is known for training and education, traditionally in the marketplace, it was a good sized office with about 400 agents. Well, out of those 400 agents, there's probably only about 3 to 4 agents that I would send agents on my team to hear instruct over a certain topic in real estate. Why? Because the other ones just frankly weren't maybe as qualified. But because that company was a franchise model and the office was only just its office kind of contained, and this office over here was just its own little office that was self-contained, and so on and so forth, even though they had the same brand name, there wasn't the flow, the connectivity amongst all the different offices, and that was just in one city. So you'd have the same 3 to 4 agents constantly talking about the same or different subjects over and over again. You didn't have this plethora of information and shareable knowledge across the entire United States and Canada like you do with a real broker. The only difference is you're not face to face with that instructor. You are actually on Zoom hearing what they have to say, which you can fully participate in, raise your hand, ask questions, put it in the chat, and it is just a great instructional method that really is state of the art, because that's where the future is going when it comes to training and education for most companies and industries across America. Okay, now let's jump over to tech. Now tech is a big one because every real estate company now is saying they're a tech company that just kind of happens to sell real estate. And that is true for maybe a few companies, but not all the ones that say that. Let's be honest, there are only a few that actually have really, really good tech, that actually own their tech. Now Real, we have our own proprietary software and tech. That's right. When we hired Pritesh Damani to our company, it was a game changer. Now this guy is our CTO and he is a phenomenal leader in the tech space. What they have built from the ground up, foundational tech, is incredible, that allows the company to pivot and provide insights and value to agents that frankly other companies can't if they don't actually own and have built their own technology. See, when you bolt on and you white label other companies' tech, it's never going to have the same impact as it will as if you own and have built your own tech. So this is where Real really shines and outshines against a lot of its competitors. Our tech is called Rezen, and that operates everything on the back end. It operates every single transaction, all the files, all the communication behind the scenes between agent and broker, and so on and so forth. It also is where all the financials are stored when it comes to your revenue share. You can see insights, you can see what you have maybe as a payout coming the next month, who is below you, who is above you. You can see the transparency of the stock, your stock purchase program, where that stands, how much you contributed, what's the match from the company, and the list goes on and on and on. You also have access on a toolbar to everything else that you need to get to function in your real estate business, from marketing to design to Real Academy to the wealth plan. Guys, let me tell you about this wealth plan. This is cool. Has anyone ever asked you what it is in terms of the dollar amount that you want to make over the next 5 years? See, no one's ever really asked me that question, and I bet you most people that watch this video have never been asked that question either. But someone who really cares about your financial future should ask you that question. Well, with Real, you now have a chance to go through this wealth plan and all the different ways there are to make money with the company by just, again, doing what you've already been doing in terms of selling and helping clients sell and buy real estate. You now have the ability to go in and then customize how many homes you have to sell on an average every single year to reach a certain goal. But that's not it. In addition to your commission check, you have 7 other different ways that you could be paid by being and conducting business at Real. From all the stock awards to revenue share, and the list goes on and on and on. But all you have to do is put some basic assumptions in, not that many, for all these different categories, and based upon the algorithm and based upon the knowledge and the data that the company already has from all the other different agents in different cities and different price points all across the company, you now can have this system spit out what exactly it looks like for you to make that dollar amount you put in 5 years. And here's the best part, guys. It's never just the commission check. The commission check is just a portion of it in terms of helping people and closing deals. And that's where the big aha moment comes on for people when they see this wealth plan. They go, wow, I don't have to do all that by helping people buy and sell real estate. I can do that, but in addition to making what I'll make doing that, I get this additional pot of money over here that helps me get to my number faster. And that's really cool. And then you can actually email that out, and you have analytics behind the emails, who opened it, who received it, who went further in the process, and it becomes a really cool tool that you can share with someone and have an intelligent, high-level conversation about their finances and future financial goals. Also, by having your own tech, it allows us to have our own form of artificial intelligence. That's right, it's called Leo. Because we own all the data behind all the agents with the company, you now can ask Leo any question you want about where to find anything in the back end of the system, which is vast, and it will pull it right up. So pretty cool that it knows that stuff almost in real time. And then Real also has its own form of DocuSign. It's called Real Signature. So you have the ability to load documents in, have it all signed by your client. And what's cool is not only is this on a desktop or laptop, it's also in an app. And this app is extremely functional, and it's on the go on your phone, and you have all the access on the app that you would have on your laptop. So you could even pull off a PDF and send it from a transaction to somebody you had to, if you needed to, from the back end of the app, as just one of many examples of things you can do on the back end. Now, a couple of the pieces of technology that we have that we don't own but we do use is Workplace. It is owned by Meta, and Meta white labels their platform like Facebook groups, and the company runs off of that in terms of the internet. All the different groups for referrals, the different groups for mindset, for motivational quotes, for, we call it break room, with all the company updates going on in there, with the commercial team, and the list goes on and on of all these different groups that you can tap into to get push notifications and alerts when there's something going on that's of interest to you. And there's also Lofty. That's right, guys, Lofty. The CRM, also known as Chime, that actually is the CRM of choice that we have a partnership with, so that you don't have to use Lofty if you don't want to. If you already have your own CRM, like myself, we stayed with it. You can go ahead and do that, and there's no fee that you're charged because they have some group discount or something worked out with the owners of the company, like most other companies have. No, it's just the opposite with Real. They want you to be able to use what you want to use, but if you need a good CRM, Lofty is a fantastic one. And the great thing is you have full access to the enterprise system that you would be paying about $500 a month for if you were to go to the website today and just sign up as an individual agent on your own. If you're partnered with Real, it's only $40 a month to have access to the full suite of Lofty, which is amazing. So one other benefit of being with Real on the tech side. Now I may say the best for last when it comes to the tech, because this is the Real wallet. That's right, guys. This is now playing chess when everyone else potentially is playing checkers on the tech game. Now, what does this mean? Now, there's more coming down the pike on this in the very near future, but Real understands that as a company, being valued as a brokerage will only go so high, but being valued as a fintech, financial tech company, it opens the doors for a huge increase of a valuation when it comes to the company. And so Real is implementing this financial tech aspect onto its platform because, again, it already owns all the tech, so it's very easy to add this on top. And what this component consists of at a very high level is a credit card, a debit card, Real Wallet, which is a banking function for the company that all the agents can use, and it's going to be gamified. So like any other credit card, when you swipe it and use it, you earn points. So now a lot of these points that you will use for simply using the credit card, the Real credit card, will simply be used, if you so choose, to offset your brokerage fees. That's right. So when you go buy the groceries at the local grocery store now that you need anyways because you had to eat, those points now can be used to offset your brokerage fees. How ingenious is that? And also a great feature of the financial aspect of things is the line of credit. That's right. Real could potentially issue a line of credit if maybe you're going to come over to the Real and you have a big bill to do so because maybe you have a large team. Now you can have a line of credit potentially where they will pay, or it will pay for the whole thing, so you don't have to come out of pocket to do so if you want. Or maybe a line of credit for just something else that you want. And that line of credit does not need to be collateralized like most lines of credit. Why? Because Real has all the data behind the scenes. They know approximately how many deals you close every year. They know how much revenue share you have, which is very predictable. And so they don't have to worry about having it collateralized with this or that. They can simply issue you a line of credit based upon your income level that you bring in and the ability to repay the loan in a certain period of time. So it's amazing, and I'm so excited that Real is doing this because not only will it open a lot of options for agents when it comes to that, but it'll also increase the stock over time. But more likely, it's going to increase it a lot more than it ever would have increased by being valued simply as a real estate brokerage and not a fintech company. And last but not least, let's talk about company culture, which will be quick but very important because culture is sometimes hard to put a thumb on and define exactly. But the culture is all about this work hard, be kind concept, and this one Real concept where we're all one Real. We are one company, one body of people rowing the boat all in the same direction, working towards the same goal. And I love that. My previous company had good culture as well, but nothing like what this company is offering. And again, it all starts with leadership. At the top of Tamir Poleg as the CEO and Sharon Sarvasta as the president, this company is bound to continue to row really hard in one direction, and that is going this way really fast. So people who are jumping on that boat, I think, are going to be loving the ride and potentially financially really rewarded as well when it's all said and done. And one more great thing is leadership cares about the agents, and one way by showing that is they've come out with healthcare for all the agents. That's right, they put 1099 agents and given them the opportunity to buy into a group healthcare plan to hopefully give affordable insurance to the independent contractor out there, which all agents are, which sometimes is very hard to get good company type healthcare. So they're really much trying to, as much as possible, to take care of all the agents within the company. So again, culture, I say this for last because at the end of the day, it is our superpower over here at Real. Thank you so much for joining our video here today of Real Broker, fully explained here in 2024. If you'd like to talk more about this, you can give me a call at 480-660-5974, or more importantly, you can click on our Calendly link right below and schedule time to hop on a Zoom call with myself where we can spend some one-on-one time going over all your questions when it comes to maybe the transition over to Real and when you're at Real, what you can expect. So again, call us at 480-660-5974 or info@cookandassociatesaz.com. And always check us out on Instagram if you like as well, at Kelly Cook Homes. But we are here for you. So thank you so much for joining our video. And please go ahead and subscribe to never miss more and more videos we're putting out about Real Broker and all of the cloud-based brokerages.